Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic on a bank holiday here in the UK, and a beautiful day as well. It's been absolutely glorious. And we're going to be trying yet another puzzle by the genius Marty Sears today. And the reason is that so many of you have either requested or recommended this puzzle. I think it's a brand new puzzle as well. It's called Something Stupid. And it's described as being a shuffled Sudoku, which reminds me of the Rat Run puzzle from last week. So Marty's latest edition of the Rat Run, which comes out on Wednesdays, was a Sudoku. And obviously he's got more ideas involving Sudoku, because this seems to be Sudoku as well, but it's also Fog of War. Now, Fog of War is always very popular, especially with me. And so I'm very much looking forward to having a go at this. I did find it on Logic Masters. It's got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty, and quite an interesting selection of comments, with some people suggesting it's very hard, this puzzle, even though it's only got 3 stars, and some people suggesting it's complete genius. So it's probably a mixture of those two things. But we'll read the rules together in a moment or two's time. And Marty, I guess, there'll probably be another Marty puzzle on Wednesday, won't there? Because there should be... wait, actually. There might not be, might there? Because I think that the scheduling of the Rat Run, there might be a break this week. Oh, well, that's fine then. I feel I never feel bad about doing Marty, but if we did sort of Marty on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, other constructors might want to look in, but actually there might not be a Rat Run on Wednesday this week. Anyway, we'll see about that on Wednesday. Let me just think about other things I need to mention before we kick off and read the rules of the puzzle, though. We're streaming tonight, back in the Blueprints Mansion. Love to have your company for that. And just a heads up as well, we have been asked to be part of the Cerebral Showcase event that Steam runs, which is towards the end of May. And I think that there is a Sunday, I want to say the 29th. Actually, I should be able to work that out using this calendar, this thing called a calendar. Maybe it's the 31st then. So on Sunday the 31st of May, I think we will be streaming Blueprints that night. It will be the usual time, 10 p.m, but that will mean there won't be a Monday night stream this week. I'm just giving you a heads up because I know some people really do enjoy those streams. So at the end of the month, it will be a day early. Now, what else can I tell you about? Over on Patreon, we have got this brand new competition that's been live since the 1st of May, themed on Spider-Man. It's a Sudoku hunt of 8 puzzles in all. Let's see where we're up to in terms of correct solves. So we were at 108 yesterday, 156, nearly 1,000 solves of Green Goblin. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Well done to all of you who've managed to get through all the puzzles already. Phenomenal work. Do have a go if you haven't had a go already. Closing date's the 20th. The prize, as usual, is the chance to come onto the channel and solve a puzzle, if that does appeal. Birthdays. Let me look at my list of birthdays for today. We had an email from Phil about Father Neil, who I think is turning a secret age +1 today, and nephew, I'm going to say, is it Asher? I hope I'm saying that correctly. Asher, you turned 11 recently as well. And I mean, the only thing wrong with the birthdays of Neil and Asher are that the cakes were apparently vanilla sponge with lemon curd filling. I am so sorry, my friends. That must be terrible. And apple pie. Now, apple pie I can get on board with, but not really as a birthday cake. So hopefully in the future there will be heavily iced chocolate cake for you both. But many happy returns. I think your birthdays were a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what Phil's email said. Now, another birthday, which is today, is for the constructor Soter. Soter, you're turning 41 today. I know this, well, partly because your dad Howard actually wrote into the channel and said, could we wish you a happy birthday? I think you're Anthony in real life. Anthony's a very fine name, incidentally. Soter. Anyway, I would recommend on your 41st birthday, you check out Mark's video later, because I gather he is going to be attempting one of your puzzles as a small birthday present, hopefully, from him to you. So check that video out, and many happy returns. I hope the chocolate cake is splendid. And I think that's all the news. Probably is. Should we have a look at Something Stupid by Marty Sears and see what we have to do with a shuffled sum doku? The rules of this are as follows. Every gold circle contains a different digit. And we have got 9 of those. So there's going to be one. That's like an extra region of the puzzle. So those are the digits 1 to 9 in some order. In any row or column, its circle indicates the number of distinct digits that appear in that row or column. Any of these digits can be repeated any number of times in order to fill the row or column. E.g., one particular row has a circle containing a 3, meaning that row would only contain 3 distinct digits. A valid example would be 173777131, and that's because that example row, I'm not going to put it in the grid, because actually I could put it in the grid with small 1737777. I just don't want to clear the fog unwittingly. I want it to be entirely wittingly. Ow, bobbins. Well, I've managed to put the... hang on, let's change that then. Let's make that a 3. I think it still works that way. So basically, this 3 in a circle is saying that this row has to have 3 distinct digits in it, and it only contains the digits 1, 3, and 7, so it would obey the rules. Right. Fog. Entering a correct digit may clear fog somewhere in the grid. No guessing is necessary. Okay, so if we got a correct digit, it might not clear fog anywhere at all, I'm guessing that means, which is a most distressing thought. Zipper lines. Along a lavender line, digits that are the same distance from the central spot sum to the digit on that central spot. So this digit, let's give that a colour quickly. That digit is the sum of those two, because they're the same distance away from the centre. It's also the sum of those two. It's also the sum of these two. And it's also, you won't be surprised to hear, the sum of those two. So the reds add up to the green, the yellows add up, the oranges add up to the green, the yellows add up to the green, and the indigos also add up to the green. And now all of those relationships have been spoiled. Anyway, next rule. German whispers. Adjacent digits along a green line have a difference of at least 5. So if this was a 1, then this cell would be at least a 6, because they seem to be connected, don't they, by a green line under the fog. So this could be 6, 7, 8, or 9 if this was 1, in order to be sufficiently different. Red dots. If a red dot sits between 2 digits, don't think we can see any of those. So imagine these 2 digits are joined by a red dot. One is odd and the other is even. So if this was a 1, this would have to be a 2, a 4, a 6, or an 8. So to make sure the parity was different. Oh, there's only one more rule. Black dots. Can't see any of those. So imagine this was a black dot. If a black dot sits between 2 digits, then one is double the other. So imagine this was a 4 and these 2 cells were joined by a black dot. Then this could be a 2 because 4 is double 2, or it could be an 8 because 8 is double 4. One of those things would have to be true. And they are all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go to the pen drawing tool and just extend the greens I can see in the corners. So what do we know about green lines? We know that they can never have the digit 5 on them. And that's because if you tried to put a 5 on a green line, the next digit's impossible, because it has to be at least 5 different from 5. So it would be, it would either go to 0 or negative numbers, or 10 or higher, which aren't going to be Sudokuable. It's not going to be the green lines, I don't think, anyway. I suspect it's going to be... It's probably the zipper, actually. Is there a reason this has to be 9? If the zipper was going down the negative diagonal, it would definitely have to be 9, because we'd know all the digits would appear. So this would have to be the biggest digit, because it would always be the sum of 2 digits that had to be different. So this would be a 9. I don't know if there's a reason that these digits all have to be different. And if there is a reason, it's going to be to do with the weird rule, isn't it? The Sumdoku rule. So these digits, the digits on the negative diagonal, they are all different. So one of them is a 9. And whichever one is a 9, something I learned from last week's rat run, or I probably knew it before, but it had been shuffled away to the dusty spider's web infested corners of my mind. I learned that you can only do Sudoku in a Sumdoku in the row, or from this puzzle's perspective, it's going to be wherever the 9 is on this diagonal. Because imagine that was a 9. Then we know there are 9 different digits in there and 9 different digits in there. So we could do Sudoku in those, in that column or row. But imagine this was a 5. If this was a 5, there's going to be repeats in that column and that row, because there's only going to be 5 distinct digits. So you absolutely cannot do Sudoku, or not in any conventional way. So if this is a 9, then all those would be different, and all these would be different. Okay, that's not making me understand it. Okay, where's the 1 on that diagonal? That's going to cause the same thing, but with what? Oh, I see. So wherever the 1 goes, that is sort of, I say it causes the same thing. It causes an effect in its row and column. That means this is bonkers. Right, so what this means is that I have got a digit now. Because imagine this was a 1. What would that mean? That would mean in this column and in this row, there's only 1 digit, which would be the digit 1. But that's going to mean that digit is a 1 and that digit is a 1. And they are the same distance from that digit, which is therefore going to be a 2. And that logic survives wherever you put the 1, isn't it? Those would be 1s. If this is a 1, those would be 1s. The only place you can't put a 1 is here, because those 2 digits, even if they were 1s, would still add up to 2. So that cannot be a 1. So I don't know where the 1 goes, but wherever the 1 goes, this is a 2, and I'm really hoping... No! You rotten creature! Is that wrong, then? What? Why is that wrong? If that's so, maybe it... Oh, no. Okay, hang on. It might still be right. Yeah, okay. Because, of course, if this is a 2, and it is a 2, I think, because there is a 1 in one of these, and it's going to have that effect I just mentioned, the actual... It doesn't matter where the 1 goes now, does it, in the gold rings? Because what we effectively now know is that all of these are 1s, so that might clear fog. Because in order to get 2, those 2 have to be 1, those 2 have to be 1, those 2 have to be 1, so all of these are 1s. Now that might clear fog. Yes. In fact, it's nearly cleared it's cleared a lot of fog. And actually, our green line goes around the whole perimeter then. So that's weird. Okay. So then we know that neither of these is a 9. And we know that because actually I know that for 2 reasons. But one reason I knew that is that if it was a 9, you'd have to put a 5 in that row or column on a green line, which we've said is impossible. So the 9 is in an interior ring. It's on an interior ring. But okay, and the other reason that this and this can't be 9 is that I didn't talk about this earlier, but if we think about the nature of a green line, we've agreed, I think, that there's no 5 on a green line. So we can think of any digit on a green line as either having the property of being below 5, i.e. being a 1, 2, 3 or 4, or being above 5, being a 6, 7, 8 or 9. Now the crucial thing to realise is, let's look at this corner cell. This is a 1. Is it possible this digit is a lower than 5 digit? No, of course not. These can't be 5 apart. So this is going to have to be a higher than 5 digit. And then what's this one going to be? Well, this can't be from the 6, 7, 8, 9. Awesome, because if it was, these can't be 5 apart. So this is going to have to be low again. Whoopsie. It's going to be one of these. And that's going to continue all around the grid. So actually what we can do is we can oscillate every other cell in this perimeter is now a lower than 5 digit. So those digits are all 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s. This is such a weird puzzle because ordinarily this would sing to me that, whoa, you can't put 4 here, for example, because 4 would be surrounded on both sides by only one digit, the digit 9, and that would ordinarily break Sudoku. But it doesn't break the rules of this one, does it? You can't put 1 in the corner actually. Right, hang on. Let's just highlight those. They're cold digits, aren't they? 1s. That's what I feel. So these are hot digits, which means these are 6, 7s, 8s, and 9s in the perimeter. Oh, there's a black dot there, just seen as well. So there's 6, 7, 8, 9s. That's a black dot. So that can't have a 7 or a 9 on it, because if it did, what would the property of this, what would the possible values of this cell be? Half of 7 and 9 are not integers, and double are not in this Sudoku, which only contains the digits 1 to 9. So I just had a funny thought about that. It would be classic Marty if there could be a 14 or something in a. It says digits, doesn't it? A digit is a number, I would say, from 1 to 9. I don't think it includes like a 14. I don't think that's possible. I mean, you've got to be careful with Marty. Marty is a very, very subtle, devious creature. Let's put it like that. He is also a total genius. So it would be absolutely classic. And I totally, would normally not spot that could be a 14. If it was a 14, I don't think it would have played. I mean, one thing I do know about Marty is that Marty's rules are absolutely beautifully written. It's something I'm very grateful for. We never have to mess around with Marty's rules because they are completely and utterly clear. And it does say digit. Distinct digits that appear. There might be a wording of the rules that would allow there to be a number in a row or column that wasn't a digit. I'm going to keep in the back of my mind that this could be a 14 or an 18. But ordinarily, assuming I'm not reading the rules wrong, this is a digit and therefore has to be either half or double 6 or 8. So 3 and 4 would be the only options. But, okay, I'm going to go back to the thought I was having about this cell, which is a circle. Now, a circle, we know the digits don't repeat, so they are not 2, which we've already put in a circle. And I don't think this can be a 1, and neither can this one. Because if it's the 1 in the circle, remember the entire row and column that the 1 is in has to be a 1 because there's only one distinct digit in that row and column. So those are not 1s. So now these are 3s and 4s. And they're different. So one of them is a 4 that will be surrounded by double 9. So these digits now are definitely not 6s or 7s because we need digits that are at least 5 different from 3 or 4. So only 8s and 9s are going to work. Now, okay, here is I'm about to make, I think, a very strange point. I don't know what this means, except that it must matter. I'm just going to check that what I'm about to say is not gibberish. It's always better when trying to make videos full of logic that you don't present something as logic that is gibberish. I don't think it's gibberish. Here is my question. At this point in the puzzle, it looks to me like this is utterly symmetric. If we ignore this black dot, what would it be about the internal logic? How could you possibly decide that this was 3 and this was 4? How could you tell? You couldn't. The puzzle is entirely symmetrical at this point. The only point of break of symmetry is this black dot. So somehow this black dot is giving us information that is going to allow me to put another digit in the grid. Why is my phone buzzing? That's okay. I'm not worried about that. Or have I missed an implication of what I've already done? Okay. No. These are not well, okay. No, one of these is a 1. And whichever is a 1. I've got something different. Okay. And by the way, what I've got here, I don't think affects what I said before. I think what I said before is true, and somehow this is going to be determined. But let me just say, I might be able to do more with what we've already got, because what I can't do is put the 1 that's on this diagonal. I've not found the 1 on the negative diagonal yet, and there is one somewhere. It can't go in a column or row that has orange in it. Because imagine any of these cells was a 1. We know that the 1 on this diagonal is going to put 1, say this was a 1, it's going to put 1s in the entire column. But then the German whisper won't work. So none of those greens is a 1, and the 1 is in one of those 2 cells, I think. So either those are all 1s, and this is what I mean by symmetry. I don't think this is going to tell us, or these are all 1s. Okay, let's just check. If this was well, we are going to get a 3 in the corner today. We are, because it's either there or there. But if this was a 3, yes, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Don't go there. It is interesting. If this was a 3, Then we're saying this row contains 3 distinct digits, and they would be the digit 1, the digit 3, and whatever this 3 was next to, which will be an 8 or a 9. So that would be forced to be an 8, because if it's a 6, it's a 4th digit in the row. So if this is 3, this is 8, and this is 4, and all of these would be 8s. That wouldn't be symmetrical in the column because there's no black dot to force this to be an 8, because these could all be 9s in the column and still obey the rule. Okay, if this is 4, these are both 9. And then that, okay, so the 4 different digits would be 4, 1, 9, and whatever this was, which could be 6 or 8. Oh, that's not very good. 1, 4, 1, 4, 9, and 6 or 8. The worrying thing about this is that I was hoping this black dot was going to do something, but I'm not so sure it does. Well, no, no, I'm going to modify that. I'm certain that black dot does something. Because I don't understand where the symmetry's broken otherwise. Does this work then? No. If this was a 1, all of these are 1s, all of these are 1s. Right. Okay. I've got one more thing I've just noticed then. Right. I'm now going to claim I know roughly where 9 is on the negative diagonal, I think. Because imagine this was the 1. I can't put it in because if it is the 1, it will. Okay. I'm going to shade it then. So I'm going to keep doing that. So if this is a 1, and this isn't, therefore, well, no, it isn't. If this is a 1, what I want to think about is which circle contains a 9. Because remember, if this is a 1, all these green cells all become 1s. Yet the 9 in a circle is meant to, we can play Sudoku with that. So how could this be a 9? This is going to be a 1 in its row. That's going to be a 1 in its row. You can't do that. There will be no repeated digits in whichever of these circles has 9 in it. So can you see that if this is a 1, the 9 in the circles has to go there, sort of opposite the 1. That's the only position where you don't get a second 1. If you try a 9 here, these two are 1s. That doesn't work. If you try a 1 here, those two are 1s. And of course it's symmetrical. So if we put the 1 here, we'd have exactly the same problem with where the 9 goes, but the 9 would go there and it would work. So those two cells are 1 and 9. And that's probably going to allow us to work on something with this black dot, which I still believe to be the symmetry break. So let's just fill in the others now, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need 5, 6, 7, 8 into those cells. The most constrained of which will be 8, which can only, so the 8 is going to see a second 1. Right, hang on. I'm going to just, I don't know how to, I don't know what I'm meant to focus on. I've got 2 lines of inquiry now in my brain, and my brain is not telling me which is the most. I think it's probably going to be whether this can be a 1 or a 9. But the 2 thoughts I've had are, firstly, to explore which of these can be 1 and 9, especially as regards what it does with the black dot. The second thought I'm having is that when we propagated, when we guessed which one of these was 1, and we propagated the pattern of the 1s, we could see that for every row and column you were generating a second 1, except this row and this column. But that means that whichever of these is 8, which is supposed to have 8 distinct digits in its row and column, that 8 will see double 1. So that 8 must see sort of 6 other different digits. So it's going to see 2 1s in its row and column. It's going to be an 8, so there are 6 digits left unfilled that all have to be different from 1 and all have to be different from 8. So I feel like that might be important as well, but I don't really know how to think about that. Should we try? Let's think about this, because it's near this black dot, and I do believe this black dot is important. If this was 9, then I know all these are different. Wow. So this couldn't be a 1, so this would have to be an 8. So that couldn't be an 8. So if this is 9, that would have to be not 1. So by being 2, 3, or 4, a digit 5 away from that would have to be 8 in this position. So in this row, you'd have a 1, you'd have an 8, you'd have whatever this low digit was. So that's 3 different digits. Would it mean that this had to be, if that was a 4 then? Because that couldn't be 4, because that couldn't be 9. So maybe that would have to be 3. So we'd have 1, 3, 8. This row would be filled with 1s, 3s, and 8s. If this was 9. Well, okay, if that's true, that doesn't work. I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure that's true. That feels, it might be true. I think that's as much as I dare say. It might be true. It's certainly worth me rethinking that logic. I'm just trying to see if there's something easier than that, though, because that is seriously complicated. It's not the 2 row, is it? The 2, because isn't the 2 going to see a 1 in whichever one of these is a 1 is going to put. Yeah, I mean, that's something. I suspect this isn't doing it, though. So whichever one of these is a 1, let's say it was this one, that's going to propagate 1s in all these cells, which means this 2 is going to see a 1 in one of those 2 cells. So, but we know that this, in that row and that column, there are only 2 different digits. So the 2 different digits that are in this row and this column, as Maverick flies over, are going to be the digits 1 and 2 only. So these can't be 3s and 4s. This can't be 3s and 4s. This is all 1s and 2s. 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 And whichever one of these is 1 is going to form massive long chains of 1-edges in all of these patterns, or 2 of those sides of this square of the Fistimofel ring. But that doesn't really affect this domino. The symmetry is unbroken as we would expect it to be. The only thing that breaks the symmetry is this. Right, okay, so let's do this again. If this is 9, everything is different. So this, okay, so if this is 1, no, if this is 9, that's 2. This is 3 or 4, this is 3 or 4. I don't think that changes anything though, does it? The point here is that this digit is not able to be, if this is 9, let's put 9 in the corner, this digit is not able to be 1, which means this digit is not able to be 6. So this is 8 in this situation, which means this is 4. But here is the thing that I think is interesting. I now, in this row, how many different digits do I already have? It's very subtle, this, but I think it's crucial. I've got this digit. Actually, this is going to have to be a 3. It has to be a 3, because in the situation where this is 9, this is a 2 in the column. So this can't be 1 or 2. They've already appeared. It can't be 4 because this can't be 9. So this would be 3. But that's not the important thing either. Sorry, my brain keeps jumping backwards and forwards. Look at this row now. It's definitely, if this is 9, it's definitely got 1 in it, it's definitely got 3 in it, it's definitely got 8 in it. So at the moment, it has 3 different digits. So here is the kicker. What is this digit? This digit cannot be 4 now, because this would be 9. I'd have a 4, a 9, an 8, 3, and a 1. That's 5 different digits. So this is a 3 in the corner. And now, if it's a 3 in the corner, how many different digits am I allowed in that row altogether? 3. And I've got them. 1, 3, and 8. But that means, and this is the problem, this is where it gets very subtle, it means all of these are 8s. All of the high digits in row 9 are 8s. And why do I think that's a problem? Well, I think that's a problem because we said that I've got to put an 8 in one of those, and whichever one is an 8, in its row and column, it's going to see a repeated 1 because of the 1's propagation. And therefore, every other digit in that row or column with that 8 has to be different from 1 and different from 8, and it wouldn't be. Because there will be imagine this was 8. It's going to see another 8 if that's 8, because everything orange in the bottom row is 8, and these sort of share those exact same columns. It's absolutely beautiful, actually. I mean, it's pretty deep. I think that's pretty deep, but it's true. And in a way, I love it because we have been led to this, I think, by this symmetry problem. It was quite clear that there's something going on with this. And so this is where I've been focusing my attention. And actually, we can see it now. This has to be 1. I'm going to get rid of my corner pencil marks. Now, what I haven't done is to figure out, let's see if it clears. It didn't clear the fog. Okay, well, maybe that will. No. I really don't see what's wrong with that logic. I mean, I think probably we'll get a fog clearance because all of these, I think, are now 1s. Well, that did clear fog. That's cleared a fog there. All of these are 1s. That has cleared fog as well. Not in any useful way. Now this is 9. So everything is, so this is 2. Oh, that's like a, I don't know, a polka dot. So, okay, so this is 2, because it's already got a 1 in the column. So this digit is now not 1 or 2. They've got a 3, 4 pair. Those are different, by the way, in column 3 because of these. Okay, so we've got the same. So symmetry is still very much going on in the puzzle. Now, well, hang on. In this column, I've got a 2. I'm only allowed to put 1s and 2s in the column, and these are meant to have different parity from 2, so they are both 1. That was correct. These 2 digits are different parity from 2, and they are in the row of the 9. So these are both odd, and they are not 1, 9, and they're not 3, because there's a 3 in that 3, 4 pair. So that is a 5, 7 pair. So these are a 6, 8 pair to complete that row. And somehow or other, okay, so now I've got loads of 3s and 4s in the perimeter, which I didn't have before, which I have not propagated the pencil marks for. This can't be 6 or 7 now, next to a 3 or a 4. This can't be 6 or 7. These, neither of those can be 6 or 7. I think it's going to be this row, but I'm not sure, but that would be my guess. Neither of those can be 6 or 7. Now, apologies if you can all see this really quickly. I'm a little bit concerned that I've not used everything I need to here. But let's have a look now at the bottom row, where I've clearly got a high digit, a high-low digit, which is a 3 or a 4. I've clearly got a 1, so that's 2 distinct digits. I've got an 8 or a 9, that's 3 distinct digits. So is it? So if, yeah, I think this can't be 4. Maybe there was a way of shortcutting this. If this was 4, this is 9. 1, 2, 3 distinct digits. Oh no, hang on, that works. Ah, I didn't realise that. That actually works, because I'd have 4, 9 and 1, and this digit. Okay, maybe 3 doesn't work. If that's 3, well then that could be 8 or 9, so it could be double 8 here. 3, 1, 8 would be. Oh, these would all be 8. Ah, that's still giving it right. Oh, I see. Ah, it's beautiful. Ah, okay. That's the point. I can generalize the idea I had around this being a 9. Actually, it's actually all about that digit. That's the crucial one. That's a 4. It's similar. It's exactly the same point. I just didn't see it this way before. But watch. If this is 3, because I'm only allowed 3 different digits in the row, I've got a 3, I've got a 1, and I've got one high digit that must do the job for all those 4 cells. Well, because it has to be in this one, it has to be 8 then, because it needs to be a digit that's in common between those 2 options. And we have already worked out you can't have 4 8s in those positions because you couldn't put 8 into a circle. I mean, it's magnificent. That is one of the most subtle and beautiful ideas I think we've seen this year on the channel. So I think that's a 4. I think that's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. So now these have to be 9s. And okay, So now what happens is I don't know what this is. It's 6 or 8, but it is the 4th different digit. So this has to be 4. It can't be 3. That would be a 5th different digit. This has to be 1. So this has to be 3, because that's in the 9 column. And this, okay, so this row only has one high digit in it. And it's a common high digit because it's got 3, 1, and then all of those have to be the same. So these are not 6 or 7 anymore. All of these are the same. The same is true. The same is true in this column. I've got a 1, a 3, and I've got some sort of high digit. And they're all, because there's only 3 different digits, they've all got to be the same. So these are not 6 and 7. This is a 3. Now this is in this row, so this is a 4 because of the 9. I'm allowed to do Sudoku in the 9 row. This is a 4 on a whisper, so both of those are 9. So in this column, I've got 1, 9 and 4 as 3 different digits. So one of these has to not be a 1 or a 9. I don't know how we do that. This is blinding. It's so clever, this. I love the fact that can't be a 3. Now I think I fully understood it. Now, okay, but now what I do is I apply exactly the same trick that I've just learned in this column, don't I? Because what would happen if that was 8? If this was an 8, these orange digits are all 8 because we only have 3 different digits. In fact, that's a 1, I've just realised. Didn't see that. And if all of those are 8, then whichever one of these is 8 sees it's going to have 2 8s in its row as well as 2 1s. Can't do it. In fact, some of these can't be 8. I've just read that can't be 8 because there's already been too many repeats. That can't be 8. There's already been too many repeats. Oh my goodness, there's none of them be 8. That one might be able to be 8, and so might this one, which is great. It's weird that those ones can't, but I don't think they can. They see too many 1s. Right, but for the reason I've just explained, I think all of those have to be 9s. Okay, and the same must be true in this row. All of those must be 9s, otherwise we run into the same problem. Really hoping that some of this clears some fog, but it doesn't seem to want to. So, right, but now this column has 2 1s in it and 2 9s in it. So it can't be 8. It wouldn't be able to have 8 distinct digits. So there's only one place for 8 on the diagonal. It's that one. Didn't clear the fog. Okay, but no, we can do more though, because now this has to have, it's got its repeated digit, those. It's got its repeated digit in that. These are repeats, these are repeats. Everything else has to be different. So that's got to be 2. It's still not giving me the right, still not allowing me. Oh, I tell you what, this is now 6. Otherwise we'd have too many repeats. So that's 6, that's 3. And now the 6 was the 4th digit in this row. So these have to both be 9s. This is, Marty, this is not stupid, my friend. As you well know, this is ludicrously intelligent. Right, this can't be, this is a 1 now, otherwise we'd have got too many different digits here. It's probably this column, isn't it? I've got a repeated 1. This has to be a digit we haven't used in the column yet. We haven't used 4, we haven't used 5, we haven't used 7. Is there any other digit we've not used? No, so that is... Oh, that's on... Hang on, that's on a whisper. Oh, sorry, I didn't see this. It's on a whisper, so it's got to be at least 5 different from 1. So it's got to be 7 now. And so this has got to be 5. And now in this row, that has to be 7 because it's in the 9 row. So we are allowed to do Sudoku. So this is not a 7. Oh, hang on, that's wrong. That's absolute nonsense. Sorry. I then used that to do Sudoku, which of course I'm not entitled to do. It might not be able to be 7 because I've got 2 9s and 2 1s, so that's the repeats. Yeah, so if this was a 7, I couldn't have enough different digits, could I? I'd have a 1, a 7, a 9, and only 3 more digits to place, so I couldn't get 6. So it is true it's not a 7, but not for the reasons that wasn't logical. The reason I removed it from here was because of Sudoku, which I've got to remember not to do. Nearly. So, oh, this one can't be 7. Look at the row. How could this be 7? We've got a repeated 9 and 2 repeated 1s. It couldn't have enough different digits. So that's a 5 6 pair. And I am allowed to do Sudoku on the negative diagonal, so that's a 7, I think. Didn't clear fog. But so this column is now a little bit more under pressure because it's had a repeat 1, it's had a repeat 9. So everything else in this column is not a repeat. So that's a 2. And the other digits here have to be from 3, 4, 5, 8. But in the 8 row, the 8's had its repeat. So this is not 8 or 9. This is not 8. So this is 6 or 7. Right. Yeah, okay. So this digit, because it can't be 9, this is the 4th different digit in this column. So that has to be a 1 and not a 2. I didn't clear the fog. I shouldn't be surprised, but I have done the perimeter now. So in this row, this is tricky, isn't it? Oh, maybe this column, the 9. The 9 column has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. So these are... Oh, whoa, that was a mistake. I didn't really, so I think I saw that was sort of 5. It cleared the fog, but it didn't seem to do very much. 5, 6, 7, and 8. There. Now, this can't be a repeater, can it? Oh, no, we don't know, because I don't know what that is. When that was 7, I thought I'd had all my repeaters, but if that was a 5, say, I probably could have an absolute boatload of repeaters in there. Okay, this one can't be 8. That's really bad. That doesn't do anything. Okay, what about that one? That one, we've had our repeaters in the 7 row, so it's not 7. We've had our repeaters, so that's got to be a 2. Oh, there we go. That's better. That's what we call the bank shot. Yeah, okay. We mustn't be scared of this puzzle. That's one thing. It's like white sauce. We mustn't be scared of it. If you're scared of it, it will go lumpy when you're trying to make it. But if you're not scared of it and you sneak up on it, it will stay smooth. Now, how could this be 5 or 7? I think it can. It's on a black dot, so I think it has to be 6. I think this has to be therefore 3. That has worked. Now we can't repeat a digit in this row because we've had the repeated 1, so that's a 7. Oh, that's cleared this one. This one is not a 3 now, so that is 4 or 5. This column has had a repeated 1 in it, so no more repeats. But I don't think we know what they are. Or if we do, I don't see why we know. So hang on. So this digit is a 1 or a 2. So that digit is 1, 2, or 4 from a black dot perspective. So maybe this row, because we've already had quite a few repeats. So if this was a 5, there's no pressure at all, actually. This row doesn't put any pressure on this digit at all. No, I tell you something. Here's a tiny point. There has to be a 2 on there, doesn't there? That might be important. You can't make this black dot work without a 2 on it. So that is an extra digit that we hadn't thought about in column 2. So now in column 2, I've had a 1, I've had a 2, I've had a 3, 3 different digits. I've had a 9, 4 different digits. This digit is not any of those digits. Right, hang on. All right, let's try and do this. So how is this working? I've got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 9. That's 4 different digits. That's 5 different digits, whatever this is. So if this is a 5, it's not right. The count's wrong. This has to be 6. Yeah, if this is 5, let's count the different digits that must exist in this column. The 5 would be not repeated. So that's 1, the 9, 2, the 1, 3, the 2, 4, the 3, 5, and that digit is a 6th different digit. So that's 6, which means this is 5. Right, now that has revealed something else. Agree. Well, this can't be 4 now, because that's a green line connection, and this can't be 9. 4 would have to go next to 9. So that's got to be I'm going to say a 1-2 pair. That's not true, because they probably could be. Oh no, they can't be the same. They are on a black dot, so they can't be double 1. They are genuinely different. So it's just going to be the count for whether this is 6 or 8. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 3 different digits. 4, 5. We need 6 different digits. This has to be 8. But that, I mean, that is, I suppose that gives me this one. I was going to say it doesn't actually resolve what this is. Oh, there's a parity dot. That might do it. So now this row, we need 6 different digits. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So these have to be not repeats of anything we've had already. So this can't be 6 or 7. That's 5 or 8. In the 9 column, we can't repeat. So this can't be 6. That's a 5-8 pair. This can't be 6. So this is a 7. Now, that's actually beautiful, because now the parity dot works. Now I know this is a 7. I need an even digit there. So that's 2. That's 1. That has to be 8, because it's on a black dot now. So this is 5. This has to be 4 on the black dot. I tell you what's amazing about these puzzles is even now, where I've got 4 digits left to place, it's quite possible to get the puzzle wrong. So, it really is. This had to be not a 1, 5, 6, 7, 9. So this is from 2, 3, 4, 8. And in this column, I need 5 different digits. So I've got the 3 odd digits, the 4th odd digit. This is a... So everything else is a repeat in this column. So this is a 1, which worked. This digit can't be a 2. We need repeats. It can't be a 3. We've not seen a 3. It can't be an 8. We've not seen an 8. So that is a 4. And that worked. So I've got 2 digits left to do. In this row, I've had a 1, a 2, a 5, 7, 9. So again, this has to be not 3, not 4, not 8. That's 5. And then in this column, I've had a repeated 1 and a repeated 9, so I can't have another repeat, and that's 4. Wow, what a brilliant puzzle that is. How long has that taken me? An hour. That's taken me an hour, but that has flown past. It is an absolutely beautiful puzzle. I mean, you think it's all going to be about this diagonal. You really do, and then it sort of isn't at all. It's much more about patterns created in this diagonal, and it is anything but stupid, Marty. That is really, really clever. I loved that. Absolutely loved it. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic and some blueprints.